Hello, I'm back again. So we're on this one where we are going to choose an option to change, and this is RDG, Radio Group Box Edit Course. So I'll do my case structure here. Case RDG edit course dot item index of, we have three of them, 0, 1 and 2. Oops. And for each of those options we'll do begin and end. So if it's 0, we're changing the name of the course. So we'll have a string and a show message box, VRS description, string, we'll say S description equals input box, enter a new description, and then we're going to go to the first row of our table, so TBL course.first. Now we can't just say TBL course, we have to say with I think it's ENG DM do begin and end. I think that's the name of that variable. You know, this one here, it's called ENGDM. This data module, we want to access these TBL course and TBL learner, and we're also going to access query ENG as well later on. Dot first, and then while not TBL course dot end of file do begin and end. Now of course we're only changing one description, and we're only changing one description. We're going to use this, whatever the person chose here, as the one to change. So I'll say S description to change. We need to get that from the we're in this button here. Yeah, I don't need to put this in here now. We can put it at the end rather. Now why did we add description in this button? Click this. We're not filling the combo box here. We're not filling the combo box in this place, so this must go out. We already filled the combo box. This can go right at the end. I've already got my with DM do. So this is not required here either, because I've already got it up here. So you have to be very careful about your begins and ends. This is the beginning of the procedure. This is the beginning of with using that data module. So in my end, I better make sure, and this is the end of case, you need to put comments where your ends are, and this is end of using the data module, that ENG DM ENG with DM, that thing. And I don't know if you'll do anything after that, but we will definitely probably do stuff. Yeah, we'll see if we have to do anything more there. But in each of these begins and ends, we don't have to quote the ENGDM because we already got it inside this begin and end here. But before we go and get that, before we go and do all of that stuff, we need to get the SDIS to change. We're looking for that, and that's going to be equal to the combo box dot text, whatever's chosen there, CMB course dot text. So there we go. And I'm going to use a Boolean flag because I only want to change one thing. Well, it could be the first thing in the row. So we'll set our Boolean flag to false, bfound equals false. And when we're in this loop, we're going to carry on going through each row of the table until bfound is true. So while bfound is false and we're not at the end of the table, we will go and search if TBL course, square brackets, description, that equals the one, oh wait, sdes to change, the one that the person chose from the combo box there. If it's equal to that, then we'll set bfound to, doesn't know why it's not giving me, oh there's an end there. This is that end. We need another end here. Quite complicated, eh? We need this. This is the while loop. It's always end of while loop through table, and this is the end of if. The if statement. So if we find a match, we'll say bfound equals to true, then the loop will stop afterwards. We'll also go and put TBL course dot edit, put it in edit mode, and then we'll go and change the name of the description to this name there, SDSC, the input, what they wrote in the input box, and then we'll say TBL course dot post. So that is for the first option of changing the description. So this is the end of changing the description name. Very important to put comments on the end. Now this other end here doesn't belong here, so this one's spare. We'll get rid of that. Now for the next option, for the one, begin and end, over here we have to decide what are we doing. We change with, oh, if it's half year or not. Okay. Well, we have this checkbox here, which we will say can go and be made visible. So I'm going to give it a name. Where's the name property? CBX. Let's make it full year. And if it's not checked, CBX. Well, don't forget, I'm just putting names. You've got to put captions as well. Okay, I'm not wasting time putting captions on as well. You've got to make sure your captions are all. You mustn't have the name of the button or the components or the tab sheets at the top. There mustn't be shown. But basically this must not be shown. That must have the actual caption. You must have your own caption there. Click if. Click for full year. So you must put captions on your things. So CBX full year is my, and I'm going to make it invisible. And then if this button is clicked, yeah. Are we going to do it that way? Let's think. We could use another input box, or we can use that. Yeah. Well, then what we should do then is have a button associated with it. Because yeah, we need to have a button with this as well. So let's go and put a button there. Button submit. Make sure you always use names, btn submit, or change that thing. Anyway, so btn submit is also going to be invisible. I'll make that invisible. So when we choose this, when they choose, and then they can click on that, or this could also be in the on change event. We could also have an on change event here too, you know, an on change event of the radio group box. So there's different ways of doing it. Okay, I've used a button here. Okay, fine, we'll keep the button because we're going to do that and then that. But you could also put all this code that I'm putting in this button, you can put in an on change event. So you can experiment with that if you want. Either way, it will work either way. But what I'm doing here is with this one, if they choose number 1, option number 1, then I'm going to make the, so this is for option number 1, I'll make those, these two, btn submit and cbx full year, I'll make them visible. btn submit dot visible equals true, and then btn, oh wait, cbx full year dot visible equals true, and we'll also have a show message check or uncheck the checkbox and click submit, just to tell them what they must do. Check or uncheck the checkbox and click submit, something to that effect. Full year checkbox and click submit. So that's what's going to happen there, and then these will be visible, so the user will then go and double click this button, and this caption can be changing half year. You know, maybe we can even make this button invisible and then make it visible after we've done it. btn change this course, make that invisible. btn change this course dot visible equals false, and then over here, after we've done all the job, we can go and make it visible again. Copy and paste because it would be much easier. Any way that you think is applicable, but I'm just doing this way. I'm sure there's other ways and better ways to do it. This is just the way I'm feeling about doing it now. And now we just say we're going to do the changing of the database here, and then of course we have to go and get the name of the SDES description string. We have to get the actual name of the course we want to change from the combo box again. We have to have B full boolean, and then we have to go and get the values. So S description equals the CMB course dot text. Then we're going to go and get the checkbox value CBX full here. So B full colon equals CBX full year dot checked. And then we're going to go through a loop, and to save time, guess what I'm going to do, and I'm sure you're all going to say it together, copy and paste. I'm going to go and copy and paste this while loop here and that inside here, and change my variable names here to S. This is a different variable, S description, and then we're going to change the value of that to whatever b full is. Yeah. If b full, I have to fix this up. Sorry. Yeah, we have to do a with statement too. I forgot to get the with statement. With engdm do begin and end. Yeah, it won't let me now. Alright, because there's an end missing over here of the while loop. See that while loop end? And then we need another end of this data module. End of using the data module ngdm. Alright, now this is to help you with your what's the name? Oh, you know what else I forgot? A dot next. No, TBL course, this loop will never end if you don't put a dot next in, and I have to go and make sure I put it in this button as well. Stupid me. TBL course dot, going through the table one line at a time. There we go. So there's the dot next. Now remember, we're going to go, this thing is going to be made visible. This button is going to be made invisible, and then the button is going to be made visible at the end of this process here. Oh, this must be true after we finish doing everything. Anyway, we're busy going through the table to find the description so we can go and change that field called half year. So it must be half year, and I've made a full year. So I'm going to say not. So it'll be the negative of whatever is checked. If it's checked, then it's going to be false. I mean, if it's checked, the not dot checked. If it's true, then the not will turn it to false, because that's the opposite, full year or half year. And I called mine full year, if you know what I'm saying. I could have just said check for half year, you know. But that not was quite important there. If you don't want it to be full year and you want it to be half, you know, if, well, how can I say it? It's stored in the database as half year. True for half year and not true if it's full year. And in my program I said click for full year. So when I submit, if they did click for full year, then I have to use my Boolean variable, must be called b half. The opposite, you know what I'm saying? So if I checked for full year, then it's got to be stored as not half year in the table. If you look over here, so that is a full year, so it's not half year. Anyway, it's just the way I worded it. I called this a checkbox for full year, whereas I should have said check for half year. And by the way, we should keep this unticked, so make the check empty beforehand, so they can tick on it if not, if they want to or not. Yeah, the default should be empty, unchecked. Right, so we've got our description, then okay, we have a Boolean flag as well, so we have to have another thing to worry about, is the Boolean flag to stop the loop. Be found equals false. we've got to declare a Boolean variable and set it to false. And then while we go through the loop, through the table, if we find the match, then we'll set be found to true and the loop will stop and won't worry about anything else. And that's it. And then of course we also need to refresh our display. So I will copy and paste again. Let's find this button and find this to copy and paste. In the submit button, we are going to do it over here before we stop using the data module. So that will refresh the table and we make that equal to true. The button to change this course equal to true, so everything's defaulted. So let's run and see if I have any syntax errors. I probably have. Input box, oh yeah, like the, I have a syntax error there. Forgot the other two, the three parameters of input box. Okay, let's go to edit course. Let's choose, well, we've got half year false. Let's say we want to change maths 2 and we want to change that. So, oh, I forgot to make the button. I forgot to make the button visible here. And I didn't make this btn change this course invisible when I was going to that. So let's go and make sure that happens when I click this button. When we click this button, we want this button to be invisible if that option is chosen. So I forgot to do that. I did. btn change this course dot visible equals false. btn change this course. btn submit visible must be equal to true. So btn submit is false, and that must be visible also. And it didn't even go and give us this message. Interesting, hey? Interesting. So let's go and scratch our heads again. B found equals false. Let's just go and do this. Let's put this here. And let's run again. So we go to edit course, we choose our subject, and I'm going to choose math 2, and I want to change half year. You see, this thing didn't go invisible, and neither did the button didn't go visible. Okay, I must have done something wrong. CVX full year, btn submit dot visible. Is that called btn submit? Yes, it is. And I've got it invisible. Yeah, and this is also CBX. Also false. I think there might be another submit button somewhere around. I'm going to have to maybe change this name. Submit half year. Let's do that. btn change this course. CVX full year visible equals true. I think I'm going to put these things over here. I just got a feeling about it. Because one is the second one. It is this one. So that is option number 1. So if I go to items, just to make 100% sure, that is 0 and that is 1. Okay, let's try it again. Maths. Well, let's do science 1, just to be different. Now it's supposed to have come up. Oh, we've got to click the button. Oh yes, we've got to click the button. How stupid of me. Then, there we go. I wasn't operating it properly. Obviously I need to make this button larger. Okay, let's do that again. I didn't click the button, silly me. Right, everything's invisible now. We're going to go to edit course. Those things are not there. Choose, okay, I'll choose maths 2, half year. Then I must click the button. Check or uncheck full year checkbox and click submit. Half year. Click for full year. Why is half year coming up? I think that's because that is sitting on the combo on the page controller, not on the. Yes, there it is. CHB half year. Oh no, it's sitting on this one. Yes, CHB half. So CHB half, and then this is CBX full year. Let's see what else is on this tab sheet here for edit course. So we click on edit course. We have CBX full year, there it is. ETM submit, label 5, DB grid. Okay, there's nothing else on there. Let's see what's on the actual page control itself. Is any random stuff that shouldn't be there? The other one is the CHB half. Why on earth that is coming up? Onto this one is a mystery, but let's go and look at what we've done here. See, I said CBX full year dot visible, submit half year dot visible, PTN changes course. Interesting. Well, these are the little bugs that might creep in, so we have to be always aware of them. Let's go to edit course and let's go and choose maths 2. Let's go to half year. See, when I click the button, what happens there? Makes no sense. Check or uncheck the full year checkbox. Okay, so then over there, and then we're going to I think I know what's going on here. So click for full year. So half year is false, and if I went and clicked there and then no, you can't do it again unless, no, you can't do it again. Oh wait, you can. Okay, I did it again. But that half year was the checkbox event. Yeah, there's an on-click event of the checkbox which I've already. I created an object. Oh my word! See, I created a dynamic object here, which I don't actually want to do anymore. So we actually were experimenting here with dynamic objects long ago, and we will leave this one out for now. But that was just an experiment in having dynamic objects created while you are working on this scenario. But I've got rid of that now. So it was like when we clicked on the button, then things would happen. When I clicked on the radio group box, then it automatically would have for science I can make a new descriptions, science 1 with a capital S. Anyway, and then when I click half year now, it's not going to do that anymore. Check or uncheck the full year checkbox and click submit. So science 1, do we want it to be half year? No, we want it to be full year, so we click on it, and then half year is now false. Anyway, it was probably false beforehand, but I know it does work. So that's another way of doing it. So what I did previously was, in the on-click event of the radar group box, creating a dynamic object to go and be visible. I do not need that anymore. So I will actually delete all this code. We'll use dynamic objects somewhere else. That was just an example. Now for cost, we are going to have to change the cost. So we can get the user to enter a new cost using an input box statement, just like we did with this one over here. All this code. So for number 2, which is the third option, I can use all that code, but instead I'll use R cost. We have to use a real number. I'm not going to do validation now. We did do some validation earlier. I mean, we could also use other tools like I don't know, well, maybe a spin edit for rands and cents and so on. But let's just do it the easy way now. So we got our course to change, default, and R cost equals string to float, input box, enter a new cost. And we can actually repeat this. If we want to really double check it, repeat until. So we can say S cost equals input box and we'll val S cost, val, see if it's a real number or num, our code, until our code is equal to 0, and then we can go and say R cost equal string to float, must be a real number because you're working with money, S cost. Of course we're going to have to declare S cost and rnum and R code as variables. Shall we try and figure that one out? Okay, but before we do that, let's go and do our found, and then we'll say what is this? It's called cost. The field is called cost. If the cost field, then we're going to set the cost to R cost. If we find a match with the destination that they chose from this edit box. So I'm going to run that and see if it works. Yeah. Alright, so undeclared identifier. Obviously the with DM thingy must be not there. Wait, this is the end of this one. Up. While loop, end of change description name. Okay. And this is the end of case. That's not the end of case. So here's the end of case actually. And this end must go underneath. Yeah. Oh, which it is. Oh, crying in a bucket. It's a lot to think of. Sometimes I found printing all the code and then going through matching your begins and ends works wonders. But we're going to give this a go. Let's say applied maths 2. We must change the cost. So we click the button, enter new cost. Okay, let's make it. I'm going to make it a random number with letter N and see what happens. Oops, so it's asking me again. See? So I must actually do it again. And I should actually put in a message there. So, and there's the price going up. So that works. but I should get a better message there. Enter a new description, only a real number. We could put an if state. Oops. Oh wait, no, not there. Silly. Not with a description. With the enter a new cost, only a real number. We should have some message coming up here until our code is not. And we have to say if our code equals naught, then show message wrong format, please re-enter. See, I can't even spell re-enter. There, it's going to do that. So you see, with the repeat, you don't need to put begin and end in here. That's cool. And I'm going to make sure that this is working. We're going to run it and see how this looks when I run it. This is how we can use a repeat loop to make sure that the person enters the right numbers. Cost, I chose something there. You have to choose a description. Only room none. If I put in letters in, see, oh, that actually didn't get to that, did it? Damn it. Only a real number. Oh, but it's not actually, it's not giving me, it's not going into, it's not going into that message that I wanted to get into. No, that's wrong. So this message is wrong, yeah. I can maybe work it better this way. Oh. No, I'll just leave it like it is. It actually works the way it was. I'm not going to worry about it. Because the person must know that they must only put in a real number. So they see that you have to keep entering. Then, you know, yeah. Let's hope. I'm trying to make the program foolproof for anybody to use. Like, even not computer literate people, but there's only so far we can go, I suppose. Let's carry on. We finished all the 3 options for editing. Now we're going to do deleting, and deleting is pretty easy. It's like I told you, if you delete a course, oh no, it's not easy. Damn it. We have to delete a learner first. So we have to go find the course ID that is chosen by the learner. Yeah, we have to find all the learners that chose that course ID. So they have to choose a course. We're going to choose a course. Which course do we want to delete? So it's going to be another combo box. So let's go and find combo box. Put a combo box here. And we're going to say, call it a name, very important, but don't forget you've got to change the caption. Do not just leave all your items with names only. CMB delete this course. And button. And name for the button. btn delete. Delete. So they choose a course, and then we're going to delete it. Then, when they choose the course, obviously we're going to save it into a name. VARS course string, and we'll have a Boolean flag. And we're going to have a whole lot of other things as well with engdm do begin and end, and this is going to cover everything that we do. I'll put a comment here, end of using the data module. So now we're going to got to go to the we've got to get the item. So S course, doesn't matter if you put this here, equals, and of course we've got to fill this combo box up. CMB delete this course dot text, CMB delete this course dot text, and then we say TBL course course dot first. We want to get the course number, the course ID, so we need an integer rnum delete rnum course. Let's call it rnum course. We've got to get that primary key to go find the corresponding match in the other table for TBL learners. TBL course dot first, while not TBL course dot end of file do we found equals false. I know it's tiresome, but we have to save processor time. We don't want the process to go through the whole table, so we have to put a Boolean flag here while it's false. Imagine if it's the first row, begin and end. Don't forget about this, I forgot about it in the previous activity. I forgot to put a dot next. Bad. If TBL course square brackets description that equals S course, the one chosen from the combo box, then we're going to have two things. Okay, we will set be found equal to true, and we will set rnum course be equal to the primary key course ID TBL course. We've got to quote the table name course ID and the name of the field in square brackets and inverted commas. So now we've got rnum course. Now we're going to go through TBL learners. TBL learner dot first, while not TBL learner dot end of file do begin and end. Now we're not going to use a while a Boolean flag, because we want to go through every single row to check to see if the learner registered for the course. Because remember, many learners can register for the course. One course can have many learners. We're going to go through all the learners and see which one has that course ID, and if they have, we will delete it. If TBL learner square brackets course ID, that's the foreign key, remember, in this, learn that one. If the course ID of the learner table, if that is equal to rnum course that we got from our previous loop, then we'll say TBL learner dot delete, and here's the very important else, TBL learner dot next. Now you might remember that in the previous exam we had the same example where you're going to delete many things in a table. When you do delete many things in a table, you have to say dot delete else. You have to put the else, go to the next one. Right, and then that's that. And then guess what? We're going to refresh the course table. And how do we refresh the course table? Well, we're going to copy and paste the code that we used anywhere else to do exactly the same thing. And bearing in mind that what database grid are we with? We're in the delete, so it's DB grid 3. So I'm going to refresh the table and the display over here before I get to the end of using the data module. And don't forget to change that to DB grid 3. And there we have it. Let's go and delete some things. Oh, I haven't deleted the course yet. Hey, all we did was, remember I said that we have to, if you're going to delete a course, you have to delete all the learners that are in that course first, then you can go and delete the course. So I haven't deleted the course yet. Okay, that's easy peasy. Guess what I'm going to do? Copy and paste this. I'm going to use my Boolean flag as well. After I've deleted all the courses from the learners, all the learners who took that course, now I've got to delete that one course from the TBL course table, and I'm going to do it the following. So if course ID, because now I know what course ID it is, and where did I get it? Course num. Okay, it's actually course ID in the table, and it's called inum course in this button click event. I think I called it inum course. There I did. And we are dealing with TBL course now. So remember, that's the learner table now. This is the course table that we're going to delete it. And if it is, then we're going to delete it. And we're only deleting one thing, TBL course dot delete. And then we can refresh the course table and the display over there. So that was easy, because you didn't have to do, because you copy and paste. We don't need the b found equals false. Oh no, we do, because we're only deleting one thing. And take note, I did not use else here. I actually need to go and do this. Because I've got a Boolean flag there, I need to go and put b found equals true. B found equals true. So I can stop the loop, because imagine if it's the second row that we're going to delete, the second one, and there's maybe 100 courses, and then the process is going to go through all the rows and not delete anything if we don't put this b found, or should I say, we call it the Boolean flag, which will set b found to true, and then the loop will stop. So no process of time wasted. Okay, so now I'm going to test it, and then we'll go, the next one video we'll do is going to be using oop, choose the I didn't fill my combo box. Bad. How are we going to fill the combo box? We'll do it in this on show event. It's easy. On show event is a good place to go and do all that stuff. And I will do it here, and I'm going to copy and paste, because I did fill the combo box somewhere else. Where did we fill it? Over here in this on show event. I think it was in the on show event that we filled it. Yes. And here it is. Copy and paste it, and go to the on show event of delete this course. And we're going to put it over here, and we must remember that, what are we going to do? CMB course. It's not CMB course now, it's CMB delete this course. That's what it is. So I'm just going to do my edit sync mode, CMB delete this course. So now you see how you can actually do things in a hurry. Oh, I've got two of those, what's the names, never mind. As you can see now we have, okay, let's delete maths 1, delete, maths 1 is no longer, and it deleted all learners who did it. Now if you look at this carefully, you'll see I've got 2 with DM thingies do, so I'm going to delete one. You don't need both, you just wrap up all your code with one of those with DM whatever majiggies do. Know what I mean? Oh, I must refresh, but it automatically refreshed, didn't it? Oh no, this is the on show event. Okay, this is the on show event. Right, we did refresh. CMD to first, CMD score sort equals true, set grid column width, DV grid 3. That's fine. I was just checking stuff there because yeah, everything's perfect, and then I can go back to the main, and then I can go to add a course and go and make a new one. Now remember that at the end of your programming you don't have to have these tabs. You can set all those tabs to tab visible equals false in your object inspector, this thing over here, the thing that inspects objects. So all your tabs here you can go and make the properties tab visible false, but don't do it until you're 100% sure that all your program code is things. If you do it now, it's going to be difficult to go and find your tab. You have to go here to the structure view to go and find your tab sheet. So keep the tab visible true until such time as you're finished, and then try and make all the tab visibles false. Right, so we'll Next one we'll do object-oriented programming.